Hello. Um, Hi. So, honestly, I just felt like making a video about talking about how weed does nothing for me anymore, and I don't mean that in a way to where I can't get high, but like realizing like there's no point there's no point in me like smoking. And okay, so maybe I should just like introduce to whoever's watching what my introductory of weed actually is or was. I started smoking when I was like 18 with my ex boyfriend, and it was great. First of all, that's another thing. I don't think anyone should be doing alcohol or smoking anything before their frontal lobe is developed. Now that I think about it, like it's not really just about like, oh, don't do drugs. It's like, how about we don't do drugs before we turn 23 or 21? Like, whenever I would hear people talk about, oh, like, yeah, I've been smoking since I was 10. I was smoking when I was 11. Like, who are your parents? Who raised you? Because that shit don't make no sense. Anyway, I started smoking when I was 18. So to me, I feel like that's pretty good because I went all the way until age 18 to finally be peer pressured when I could. Well, I didn't have that many friends to be peer pressured into smoking. Um, and I'm in a fairly large city, but like in high school, I wasn't fucking with nobody like that. Like honestly, I really wasn't. Um, I think my ex in high school would smoke, but he wasn't the type of person that would like. He knew that that shit was not cool, so he wouldn't even like bring that shit up. But I'm pretty sure he would smoke sometimes though. But I just knew I was like I ain't smoking until I met my ex, and I was like, you know what? I think I'll hit it. Anyways, from there on out until so from that point on, it was like I'm smoking a lot. I love smoking. It feels so good. I'm high, like it's different. I think anybody who's ever smoked can say that when you first start smoking, that is that feeling when the weed is great, because I'm convinced that the weed was even better during that time, which was 10 years ago. Okay. And this is 2025 now. Okay. So 10 years ago, mind you, the weed was better. And even before that, of course, the weed was better to anybody else that had been smoking like maybe in the 80s or some shit, to them probably. But in my opinion, I'm like, well, when I first started smoking, the weed was better than what it is now. So yeah, that shit was great for me. Smoking and being high and like being with him and like or by myself or getting off work and just wanting to smoke, or it was, how it is. I don't need to go down the list of how fun it is to be high and be young and just it's a great period. It's a great time, right? Um, I got to a point to where without realizing it, I wanted to be high doing like so many things, go to work high, um, smoke before sleep. I'm not gonna lie, I always thought that it was kind of weird to just wake up and smoke though. Like that's a whole I know it's like very common for like avid smokers, but when you really think about it, like waking up, the first thing on your mind is like, I'm about to smoke. That shit is that's a little that's a little crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's that's kind of wild, but that's a real thing. But it's like that was I never really was like cool with that, but I did that a couple times too. Um I'm just thinking about how crazy that shit is. Like, because that's like, like weed is still a form of like substance, or it's something that people rely on to not be able to feel things. So it's like we shame people for, well, people don't talk about it, but it's like drinking super early, that's not cool, it's not normal. But neither is smoking super early, smoking weed super early, and getting under the influence. Anytime you're getting under the influence and you just fucking woke up, that's crazy. Because when you really think about it, it's like I was just asleep though. That shit is already feeling like I'm under the influence when I'm asleep. So literally, like waking up and being like, I'm about to smoke. Bitch, you just woke up though. You just woke up. Like you putting yourself, you low key kind of putting yourself back to sleep. I don't know. I guess if it's like indigo or some shit. I'm just talking shit. I'm just saying, like, this is wild. Anyway, smoking is great. So I smoked from the age of like 18 to like honestly now. So I smoking since 18. I think when I got to is there anything else I want to say about how my experience was though? Like I just noticed like although I really liked it, it just made me very it made me forgetful. It made me kind of like susceptible to things that I don't think I would have been susceptible to, like in certain relationships or whatever with people. Like as in letting my guard down or just letting some shit fly by. I do think I will say like to some degree it might have heightened some sensitivities within me. But then I also think it kind of dulled certain things within me too, to the point where like I would have been able to catch on to this if I wasn't high. Or I would have been able to be a little bit more coherent if I wasn't high though all the damn time. That's an issue. Um what else? Yeah, I just it and oddly enough, my ass, I was becoming I liked it so much, but I realized that it was actually keeping me weaker. I realized it really wasn't for me. It would make me paranoid. It would give me a little bit more anxiety in a way. And then some it wasn't always like that, but it would kind of it wasn't always like that. Like sometimes it made me feel a little bit more secure, but then a lot of times it like depending on where I was or who I was with, I would feel like anxious. I would feel anxious with it. And I don't feel like it's supposed to do that to you. So sometimes it like sometimes you how your experience is with weed could just be dependent on like you and what's already in you and it kind of just bringing it out more. So I will say that. Um I like who I am without weed. And when I say I like who I am without weed, I'm comparing myself I'm comparing myself from like who I am now to like back then. Um cuz back then I was abusing it and I feel like that's what a lot of smokers are doing. I'm not going to lie to you cuz if it wasn't abuse, then people just like to be like, oh, it's medicine or some shit, but it's like, no, it's not medicine though. But it's not. It's supposed to be a recreational thing, and honestly, I think it could be more than that. I think it could also be ceremonial if the weed is actually like potent and good and like has like those really high quality like natural properties that it's supposed to have and shit. I like weed. I just know it's not for me like that. So, anyways, I'm saying all that to say that at some point, I don't like this pillow. Ouch. At some point, I want to say when I turned like I want to say when I turned like 24, that's when I was like, all right, I don't like this shit. Cuz I would always feel kind of like it's like, yeah, I like it, but I don't like that I want it. Like I don't like that I'm kind of dependent on it in a way. Like I was getting to a point where I was like, I don't I didn't have the fiend energy that I did before cuz sometimes it's already in you. Like being a fiend for some shit or an addict, like that shit is already kind of in you, and then you find something to like be an addict about. Like with some people it's sugar, some people it could be spending, some people it can just be attention, uh food. It could be a lot of different things. So people can be addicted to like different shit, you know what I mean? So alcohol, etc. So I just felt like I got to a point where I was like, I'm being more creative. I was more in my creative bag. I was making more paintings. I was um I don't know. I was doing things that I felt like made me more fulfilled without wanting to be high. Um in a way this is kind of a testimony, but I still would so I ditched it like when I was around 24. I'm 27 now. So I ditched it that time around that year. I literally was like, I had like a lot of weed too. Well, I'm not going to say I had a lot of weed, but I had I had maybe like a gram or something. I had like a nice little gram or something like that. I was like, I don't need this shit anymore. I don't need this shit anymore. Cause when it's like this ain't helping me, right? So I literally like I either threw it away or like flushed it. I can't remember what I did to dispose of it. But I was like, I don't even want this shit for real. Cause when you just know. Like that's just a relationship that you have with yourself and weed. It's like you either don't like how it makes you feel anymore. You either don't like the fact that you wanna smoke it. Like a lot of times I hear people talk about their relationship with weed, and a lot of people want to quit, but they don't want to quit, because they like how it makes them feel. But I think that a lot of people want to quit because they know, like, this is keeping me weaker and I'm actually supposed to be stronger than this. I think that's all it is. Um, Anywho, I did all that. Every now and then, I'd hit somebody up like, yo, like, I'm always a can I get a gram? I'm that person because I'm not a real big smoker. I don't even I think the one time where I actually was buying like more than that was so rare. Like I was never someone that was like, cuz I just never needed that much weed. But yeah, even after I like kind of ditched it, I would go back to it. So I would like hit somebody up like, damn, I feel like smoking, like I'm about to buy this. Um and then I would smoke or whatever. And then it just got, once again, like it seemed like every time I tried to like smoke out of like boredom, every time I tried to smoke out of just like, okay, shit, like I want to do something, I want to like feel out of my body, I want to feel good or whatever. Every time I would like try to smoke, it was like this shit don't help. And the only reason I'm bringing this video up is because it just happened to me again recently. I asked I asked a friend, like, hey, can I get some weed off of you? And we bartered and she let me get some weed. Like she gave me some weed or whatever. She gave me a good amount, like a gram, kind of more than a gram. I was like, great, that's awesome. Mind you, before that I hadn't smoked in like a few months or whatever. But wait, before I even say all that, before I say that, because I don't how can I put this? Like so dang, where did I leave off at before I said what I said? Um, I guess I'm gonna just start here. So, I would every now and then. So then fine, I think also it was like the quality. It just wasn't as good. But I can remember like one dealer who had like some really good shit. Um and he stopped selling and I was just like, but that was my go-to. Like I really liked him. He had really good weed. Like some people really just be having better weed. Um But either way, it's like whether the weed is better or not is like I just when you just know you're just not supposed to be smoking, right? So or you just don't want to. There is a blister, big ass fucking blister on my foot. What the fuck? So then I got a hold of some. I want to say this was last year. This was almost a year ago. I bought some. I bought some of the most. Ooh, like I bought some good. I got some good ass shit from this one dude. That shit had me feeling like a fucking like I was in the 1970s or some shit. Like it just made me feel so sexy. Like I have not felt like that in so damn long. That shit made me want to get back to that shit made me actually want to start smoking for a good reason. I hadn't felt like that in like forever. So like I looked forward to it. And mind you, this is last year, right? I had already kind of like not been smoking like that. And then like I was like, I get the urge every now and then. I'm like, you know what? I want to smoke. So then I bought I think like 2 grams from him or a gram from him. And that shit was amazing. That shit was amazing. That shit didn't even make I'm pretty sure it was like a sativa because it made me feel a lot more like energetic and not slumped or whatever. There is a bug that's just stuck in my window and I'm anyway. Um that shit felt like what weed is supposed to be like, you know. Speaking of that, yeah, so I tried to get it from him again. He didn't have the same strand. I was just like, fuck, like that strand was amazing. Like that strand was fucking great. Which reminds me of a dream that I had about how weed is really supposed to be like I don't want to say supposed to be, but I had this amazing dope ass dream that I was at this underground um I was at this underground dispensary, which funny enough, I've actually gone to an underground dispensary like in California like a couple years ago. And yeah, but in my dream it was like the same type of setup, it was an underground dispensary. And the you know how they be having like these cool ass names like, oh yeah, this is blueberry fizz, this a hybrid goddamn orange motherfucking, like how they be naming like, weed in this time. Well, in my dream it was like the weed was like it's like if you smoke this, it was gonna like make you feel like this. But the weed was like these feminine archetypes. So it was like, this is the housewife. You get this, you gonna feel like a fucking housewife. But it wasn't just a housewife, like I'm talking about like 60s, 70s housewife. Or you get this one, you gonna feel like a goddamn like vixen, like it was just like the weed was all feminine, and it was all these archetypes from like the 70s, like whatever you could think of, like maybe this that Pam Greer, this that, I don't know, like it was just it was what I felt like that's what the fuck weed is supposed to do. The shit supposed to make you feel like a sexy ass woman from the 70s. Or I feel like if weed was a person, it would be a woman, clearly, you know. And then it would be like a sexy ass woman. I'm just saying. So yeah. Getting back to the story. So yeah, like I just that's all I wanted to say about the dream, but this fucking weed that this dude had, it was just great and I never got that shit again. So then I settled for the strand. So then I settled for the strand that he had, talking about some, yeah, this is better. You might have liked that one. Is no, I want the one that you gave me. This is last year. Or was it the year before last? I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was last year though. So fast forward to now. This is March. Okay. Um I have a friend who smokes. So I was like, "Hey, can I get weed off you?" She was cool with it because I had gave her something in exchange for it any damn way. I was very grateful for that. I smoke it, and you know how it is. I don't know what I wanted to happen, but I know around the time I was getting bored. So I was just like, I think that's what it is. It's like every time I find myself getting more bored or I'm not being creative, like it's like I don't feel like being creative, although that's not true because like I am being creative and shit. Because like how my schedule is set up, it's like I'm in school for a very creative thing. And I always got creative projects going on, but sometimes I guess you just don't want to do it. So you're just like, okay, I'm doing everything. I still want to now feel under the influence of something other than alcohol because I don't fuck with drinking like that. I like to drink, but I can't. I don't just be drinking just to drink, just to drink, just to drink. Like that should be hell no. The recovery. I think I'd rather recover from some fire ass weed than some alcohol. I'm not gonna lie. Like for real. And you know which type of recovery from weed. I'm talking about the weed so good. It's like 2 days in. It's been like 24 hours. You just like, damn, I'm still, bitch, I'm still coming down. I'd rather have that effect. So, anyways, yeah. Got some weed. I was like, yeah, I got weed. I still got it in this moment. And um it had been like it had been like almost I don't know how long. If I had to really estimate, I would say over half a year since I had last smoked. So now, a couple like last week, I finally smoked again. It was cool. It was great. Um, Once again, it's one of those. There's like three modes when you smoke. There's or four. It's like happy, horny, hungry, sleepy. So you can imagine it's just like yeah, just went through that. Um, and then I smoked again. I smoked again the next day, and then I think I tried to do it again. Once again, it gave me like a very relaxed feeling, but I'm realizing I'm like I feel underwhelmed with weed now cuz I don't know. Like I just don't think it's doing anything for me like and when I say doing anything for me, I just mean like I don't think it's doing anything for me that's good. I just think it's just one of those things to do for me. But it is very possible that it could also just be like the strand. It could also be the grade and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not like a super weed head. Sometimes I really just be like, I'll take whatever, like it is what it is. Um I mean, when I say whatever, I don't mean whatever, but like, like I'm not like picky, but it's like at the same time, it's cool to be picky with like shit that you're buying. So I guess. Um anyway, I'm saying all that to say that outside of weed, like anything that keeps me under the influence, I'm not getting anything from being high anymore, you know? And then on top of that, there's consequences that I feel like I have to smoking weed, which is why I stopped. Um, I should have wrote down a list, but now I'm about to say it off the top of my head. I think that it makes me forgetful. Like I don't like feeling like I'm forgetting things. I hate that. I hate that shit. I don't care how small it is. Like, okay, some things, you know how it is. But no, I really do care about my brain health. So I think that like that's a consequence or that's a con for me. Not feeling or having the energy to do stuff, that's a consequence because I'm naturally supposed to be like I'm a creative. I gotta like, you know, being a creative is not about sitting on your ass and just having ideas. It's like, no, it's putting action to the ideas that you have. Like I gotta do that shit. The fuck? Um and then I just think that it just keeps you kind of like weak. Like it keeps me weaker, I think, because like your body just wants more of it or your mind wants more of it. And anytime something has the ability to make you like kind of compromise and sacrifice a part of you, then that has more power than your willpower, you know? So I think that those are my cons to smoking, which is why um it just doesn't make sense for me to smoke. But because I know I'm not like on that level of like addict, it's like I could handle like, oh, like a puff every few months or like whatever, you know, or if I go somewhere, maybe somebody has it and they're offering, maybe. Cause really I don't like being smoking with nobody, honestly. But because I know I can handle it is why I like I still like do it. But it's because I know that I don't like smoke a lot in general, so it's like whatever. But not I just can't smoke anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So anyways, now I just think that um I don't want to say alternative, but shit, like instead of smoking weed, like you know what I really have found have always thought was great is just green tea or supplements, like all the things that like no one people be sleeping on. They don't even want to like care about these things. Also, you can smoke herbs. Like you can smoke like I've smoked lavender and damiana and rose all in one and mixed that with my weed. Mm. I like that. And that's what kind of actually when I started like mixing in flowers and like herbs, consumable herbs with my weed, that's what like made me slow down and like that's what led me to stop smoking really. Whenever I would like mix in like these other herbs, whenever I would do that, it made me like slowly and surely like stop smoking actual weed. Cause I was like, you know what? Maybe there's an oral fixation here or like an oral, you know, it's like, yeah, you like this. Like anybody that smokes a lot, it's like naturally you're gonna gain a fixation with like having like, you know, something to smoke on. You like the element of like, you know, air, fire, or whatever that is as you're smoking. Um, so that's a real thing. It's a real thing. Like how you like to burn an incense because you like not just the fragrance, but like the smoke in the air, you know? Um, I don't know. Like, I think that I like flowers. I like earthy shit. So weed definitely keeps me in the earth, like, you know, but while simultaneously like allowing me to like have that like free feeling. Um, as well. I was also telling the same person that I got the weed from that like, hey, like also I've tried microdosing shrooms. That shit is fucking for me at least. Fuck no, I will never do that shit again. That shit had me feeling like goddamn a fucking Disney princess, like delusional as fuck, walking around here like no, not for real. Like not like that for real, but like just way too fucking like heart was just like like I'm like I don't like that. I need to be mean. Not I don't need to be mean. But you know, I need to be like I need to have like armor. Like that shit lowered all of my defenses. I will never do that shit again. And I only did it for like maybe a week or two, and I was just like, yeah, this shit is not for me. Fuck that. I don't need to like create these emotions. I want these emotions to happen naturally. I don't want to sit up here and like fucking take mushrooms or microdose some shit. I don't know. That's just what my experience was. It just didn't feel. It was cool. It was nice. I liked how positive I felt, but I hated how much I like how positive I felt at the same time. I'm like, this is not right. I need balance. There was not enough balance whenever I was trying to do that. And once again, like that lasted for maybe less than 2 weeks. Because I was just like, I don't like how this shit got me feeling. So yeah, it's safe to say that I've been experimental with like some things. Um, so alcohol, alcohol don't count to me. Once again, that's like bottom of the bottom for me. I love wine. I'm a wine drinker, but still, even me, like I'm not even here drinking wine like that because at the end of the day, like alcohol is still alcohol, and I just don't have the time to be like recovering from that shit, nigga. Fuck that. That shit is garbage when you gotta recover from it. So that's why I've never been that person to, you know, I'm very much a yeah. Let me get a Jack and Coke on ice. I'm cool. Like couple drinks in, I'm great, babe. I trust. Um. Anyways, alcohol, the weed. Then the next thing I tried after weed was I don't want to say that, but I've had someone give me like a fucking blunt with like lean on it. That shit is first of all, that's some very fucking Houston shit. Second of all, that shit is stupid as fuck. I feel like that's the type of shit that make niggas stupid. Like I don't even know what the fuck was wrong with that little boy. That's a whole nother story. I don't know. I wonder if my ex remembers that shit because that shit was weird. I mean, apparently that shit was like the norm to him, but yeah, I just remember this. I was with my ex and some nigga that was younger than us. We're in his garage and he just has he's smoking weed, but he put lean. First of all, I've never drunk lean. I don't even do no coughs. Ugh, oh my god, this is embarrassing. Anyways, after that, I've tried ecstasy, which was great. Um, didn't do anything though, personally, but talk to people, and I felt so. Yeah. And then shrooms, which I don't think I took enough. So, but it was nice. It was a nice experience. But I don't think I took enough, but they're still cool. So that's all I've ever done. And, I would say that my favorite is most likely weed because I don't know, it just has it's just one of those things, you know. So like I love weed. I'm gonna say that out loud, but I just don't think it's for me. But then at the same time, like I just think that if I found like the right strand, like I'd be good. But then at the same time, like I don't want to smoke all the time. Like I want to smoke like every few weeks or like and smoking for me means is equivalent to like 3 4 puffs and I'm good. I don't fucking smoke no damn big ass blunt. Like I do like that shit is hell. Like what are y'all on? Like who the fuck is out here like needing that much weed in like one session? Like y'all niggas are crazy. Y'all niggas is sad. Your mothers don't love you. I don't know. Um anyways, yeah. Weed is a great fucking plant. But you gotta love yourself more than you love anything, you know? That's all I'm gonna say. To the point where if you feel like you know something is like kind of keeping you stagnant or like keeping you from being your best self, then you just gotta be honest, you know? You can do the shit in moderation, but I think my like what I was going through like last week is just coming to the conclusion like it don't even make me feel good like how I want to feel good though. Like, you know, I don't know. I guess that's all I got to say though. Like weed is just at this point like it's whatever, you know. I'm glad and I'm very proud of myself for actually like knowing I'm not dependent on it and it's just always like a choice of like, hmm, I could go for a high right now cuz I feel good. You know, like, oh, that's another thing. I smoke because I'm already feeling good. Like, some people be smoking. I think back then, like, I would smoke because um maybe I didn't feel good or I didn't want to feel my emotions and shit. Like, in this moment, like my future self or my modern day self, I'm just like, shit, I already like I don't know, like I hardly feel bad. Like I hardly feel bad. Like I only ever really just feel like content or like, okay, cool, like maybe something happened, but I'm not letting that shit ruin me. Or like I'm gonna just feel my emotions. Like I definitely get sad or mad and shit, but like I don't be trying to escape that shit. That's another thing. Like I don't be trying to use substances to like numb how I feel. And I think that's a good thing that I feel like I can pat myself on the back for now. You know? When you sit up here and you run away from how you feel about things and you use substances, you're not gonna grow like how you should grow. Like that's just a real thing. So at least I could say like if I do choose to smoke, at least I can say that when I do choose to smoke nowadays, it's always because I'm just like I'm either just bored and I know that like I should just make some art. But even after the art, it's like I might still just be wanting to smoke, you know? Or I'm just like, I miss having a high feeling. That's just real. Hmm. I want some weed. So yeah, I think I'm not gonna lie. I'm either gonna look for some sativa or just never fucking ask for weed again because I'm underwhelmed and I want to just I don't know. I just think that there's more to life to experience. What am I talking about right now? Of course, there's more to life to experience. I think I'm just older now, and weed just is like, it's just not the same, you know? I think that's all. I think that's just what I'm saying. It's like, it's not the same for me anymore. Like, it was a lot more cool and fun back then. Now it's just like, you know? It's like drinking wine. It's like, Now I love wine now, but, you know? Anywho, I've talked for 40 minutes and I feel like that's a good enough time for me to stop talking. So, if you stayed to the end of this, I should kiss you. All right, bye.